was so much better than we normally do.
I think we've got this thing worked out. Now, I haven't been reading the chat, obviously. So, presumably all the myriad audio errors we just don't know about yet.
Well...
But Paul's been reading the chat. How are they?
Yep.
How'd that go?
Yep. Clapping.
Yay!
Hooray!
No major
Somebody
reading.
saying, no, I missed it.
Oh no!
Woo, no technical issues.
Woo! Spring break!
Somebody just subscribed.
Oh boy!
I saw this guy actually was talking during my stream, saying that he was waiting to subscribe until he could get the appropriate pomp and circumstance.
Awesome.
Well,
let's bring Paul around and.
What's the name of this subscriber?
Well, you can bring him up on the thingamajig.
If it's not already launched, we can't.
It is, though.
Oh, it is. Well, there we go then. Perfect. John Locke Cole. John Locke Cole. Thank you for subscribing.
Hey everybody, do you need some philosophy? Why not go with John Locke? Whoa, is that actually too expensive for you? Why not John Locke Cole? Almost John Locke, but not quite. You know what? Probably good enough. Save some cash, get some discount theories. You could do worse. John Locke Cole, thank you for subscribing.
Followed up by Neuroflare. Thank you for subscribing. Neuroflare.
Hey everybody, do you like gritty sci-fi, cyberpunk kind of stuff? Do you want Neuromancer but can't afford it? Why not go with Neuroflare? Neuroflare. Almost like Neuromancer, probably not much like Neuromancer, maybe more fire, maybe less fire, who knows, you know, it's an unknown product, but you know you're going to save 30%. Thank you for subscribing.
Why are half of our subscribers like discount versions of other things?
Yeah, it's a certain theme.
It's the first thing that I'm thinking of.
And Prospero 101. Thank you for subscribing. Prospero.
Hey everybody, do you like The Tempest? Well, do you like Prospero? Well, you know what you can do? You can get a new improved version of Prospero. The 101st iteration. It includes cyborg legs, laser eyes, and a tea tray that comes out from the chest. I mean, God, that is super convenient. Prospero 101. More expensive than every other version, but so much better. Thank you for subscribing. Yeah.
That was pretty great. Oh my goodness. We've had 2 more subscribers all of a sudden. Oh boy. All right. Lincard 007. Thank you for subscribing. And Hand of Barachel. Hand of Barachel. Thank you for subscribing.
Da-na-da-na, Lincard 007, pow pow. You are probably not as good as James Bond, but probably better than us, pow pow. Subscriber! Hand of, I gotta say this is I'm gonna go really Canadian on this. It's like, hey everybody, do you like Canadian actor Jane Baruchel? Geez, he's probably pretty expensive to get in your Loading Ready Run sketch, but what if you kidnapped him, tied him up, drugged him, and then took him out behind some shipping containers and just chopped off his hand? Boy, wouldn't that be a much cheaper deal? It could hold things, look impressive, bring its trademark, you know, wry yet a little bit like self-shy wit to the whole thing, but it would only be a hand. You wouldn't have to pay it like scale. It would be amazing. Hand of Baruchel. Why not?
It's only spelled differently and slightly illegal.
So, I did my best.
Hey everybody, welcome to CheckPoint. Sorry for the later CheckPoint than usual. 2 hours delayed, but Kathleen and I were coming back into town. Writing the stories in the car, actually. That worked out really well.
I would actually say that Graham was writing most of them, and I was feeling very tired because we did not have any coffee before we left, and then sleeping.
Yeah, Paul compiled a list of the stories with some observations last night. And there was one that as I was writing them, I got confused by the number. Because we typically aim for 5. And I was counting, and I was like, oh, we need one more. But I forgot I'd flagged your Google Glass story that I really wanted to do. Because basically, like, Paul's notes on the story about Google Glass games. Google. What basically just was the perfect
Yeah,
the
Paul
perfect
read
joke.
that to me, and I was like, all right, well, we're done here.
So, I didn't actually get a chance to watch the video, but I assume that this, like...
So the deal is that Google has produced 3 or 4 or 5 little sort of mini games that they have as to inspire game developers. So there's one that's like a head balancing one where like there's a thing you try to balance your head. It's if you have like books on your head. But the ones that were particularly bad is there's one that's like skeet shooting. And so in your view, you say pull. And in your view, a thing comes across your view, and you say, bang, bang, when you want it to fire.
So Paul's note on this, he was like, Google Glass now has games, link to the article. And his note was just, Google Glass is still supposed to be worn by people, right? Like in public, as in outside, as in a place where you probably don't want to be yelling out, bang, bang, or waving your hands in front of your face to interact with something that no one but you can see.
Because one of the other ones, it's called like Slice. It's basically like Fruit Ninja.
Right.
So like a thing goes up and you go like, wah! Because you have to get it in front of the glass.
In front of the camera.
Camera, right? So
Oh
it's
my
like,
goodness me.
Invisible bugs are attacking me.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, like, I realize these are just like little demo games to like make people think of what could be done with the system, but
it's like, okay. You've shown
that's
that
the best you could think of.
You've shown that is a very bad thing to do with this system.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Okay, now imagine this. It's Google Glass. It's a heads-up display. Want to do like a visual like novel? Like I've just been beating Layton Brothers on the iPad. What about something like a crime investigation scene where it can do reality? Like it can like put items around like a room that you're in, and you have to like investigate them, and then like you can like do dialogue trees and stuff.
I don't think they've actually got the augmented reality stuff working for Google Glass yet.
Yeah, but how cool would that be as a game concept?
Like augmented reality is like the thing that I was excited about with Google Glass.
Yeah.
Like that's the part that is like, holy crap, that's super cool. And
it's not working
at the moment. It's just a screen with a camera.
Yeah, but I mean, still, you could even have like projections of like a person and like have the dialogue choices come up, but you could choose.
Yeah,
you could use voice activation to choose which.
You tap on the side. The idea of like playing a game in public while nobody else knows. You're like at a coffee shop and you're like eating a coffee and playing. Like that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
But it completely falls apart if you have
Pull,
to be doing
bang,
that.
We'll take a sub break between stories.
Right.
We haven't for those reminding us, we haven't missed the subs. They pop up on our screen, but we don't want to interrupt the flow of the stories we were discussing. So first, GSC Europe has just subscribed. Thank you, GSC Europe, for subscribing. Going a little Richard Nixon with that one.
GSC Europe. Give me a G for Google. Give me an S for Safari. Give me a C for cats. It's the Google Safari of cats in Europe. Sign up now. Only $2,000 plus accommodation and transportation for a Google Cat Safari. Look at all of the cats of Europe with Google Glass.
Which is
How amazing would that be? Cats in Belgium, cats in Czechoslovakia. Do you like a Czechoslovakia?
You don't have to even
Czech
leave your home.
Republic.
It's just
Czech Republic cat. Like that cat. See it on glass. Take it home.
They're
They'll
just
ship
all
it to you.
domesticated cats because there's no big cats in Europe. Is that
Yeah,
it?
you just look at other people's kitties. How good would that be?
And then you can steal their kitty. And take
No,
it home
no.
with you?
It's stray cat. You see a stray cat?
Oh, I see.
Ship me that cat. May not arrive alive, but you know what? You're trying to do your part. Anyhow, then what's the next subscriber?
Catalyzed Grim. Thank you for subscribing. Catalyzed Grim.
This one's harder.
Oh yeah, this one's so hard. GSC Europe, you're all over. Catalyzed Grim.
Catalyze, it's like...
I'm trying to remember what you do to chemicals to catalyze them.
You
Well,
need a catalyst.
Yeah. So it's like, this isn't grim enough. So...
Oh, it's not grim at all until it gets catalyzed.
Yeah. And so it's like, this thing was actually quite happy, and then somebody added something that they shouldn't have. And now it's been catalyzed grim.
All right, so it's like a noir. It's like, it was dark and stormy night. In the science laboratory, I was working on preparing some soil samples to test for an endangered moss. It was a dirty job, but someone had to do it. When suddenly, something had contaminated my catalyst. A dame came in, and she was a tall drink of water, a tall drink of purified water, suitable for chemical processes. I can't make a whole noir out of a cat.
That's good because we should keep
Catalyzed
talking.
Grim, yay! Thank you for subscribing.
All right. So this one I really enjoyed. This was another story that we didn't end up reporting on. Marvel has released an Endless Runner for mobile.
Yeah, for Android and iOS.
Yeah, called Run, Jump, Smash. And you can play as the Avengers. And Paul was noting that there are certain Marvel heroes that are more suited for an Endless Runner game than others.
Especially one called Run, Jump, Smash.
Yeah, so the Hulk, obviously, that's literally what he does.
Yeah.
That is the Hulk. And you were saying Iron Man, sure, I guess. He can fly and he has, like, repulsor beams.
He doesn't get tired. He has a suit.
Captain America is marginal, but sure, he can, like, run into people with his shield. Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Nick Fury. Thanks for coming out. When we need covert infiltration and seduction, pinpoint marksmanship, or daring leadership abilities, we'll call you. For this game, we're mostly just looking at running and smashing.
Well, I mean, like, besides, there's...
But it's
they're
like,
not... Some of those last three don't have any superpowers.
Yeah, it's like...
How far can they actually run?
It's like there's no shame in not being good at an Endless Runner.
Yeah.
Like, it's a pretty limited skill set. Mm-hmm. But I think you'll agree that the Hulk can do that very well. Whereas if I was looking for somebody to lead the Avengers, I would not choose the Hulk.
Yeah.
I would choose Nick Fury because that's his thing.
Yeah.
It's not everybody has to be good at everything, and not everybody has to be in every game. The Punisher in his van.
The Punisher in the Punisher's van.
Actually,
that would be
okay.
That'd be sweet.
The funny thing is because it's apparently it's got like almost like one of those like tag team things from like Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah. So you'll be like running along and then you like hit a button and you like tag in one of the other people and they use like their special, and because like each, like for some reason the Endless Runner genre has gotten very complicated, but like you can use like special moves and stuff. But it's still, even if we're talking special moves, you know, you got Captain America can like throw his shield, Iron Man's got lasers he can fire. I mean, Black Widow's got like a gun that she shoots people with.
Yeah.
Right?
She's real good at it.
Yeah, she's good at it, but it's still just a gun.
That's it, yeah.
I don't know.
Got 2 new subs before we talk about the next story. Worms Are Us
Yes.
has just subscribed.
That's too easy.
Worms Are Us. Thank you for subscribing.
Hey, everybody, do you want some worms? Worms are us. What do we got? Worms. What do we don't got? Everything that's not worms. Why are you here if you don't want worms? The sign says worms are us. We don't carry slugs, snails, centipedes, just worms in bags of other worms. Worms are us for all your worm-based needs and not for anything else. Stop coming in asking for coffee.
And Garface Magar. Thank you for subscribing, Garface Magar. We appreciate it.
Oh my god, it's my arch nemesis, Garface Magar! He's on a quest to turn all of the garages in the world into just gars because he thinks those last 3 letters are superfluous for some stupid reason. He's my arch nemesis for basis of just straight stupidity. Garface Magar! How have you tracked me to my secret lair? But thank you for subscribing.
I imagine Worms Are Us is basically like Bulk Barn, except all the tubs are worms.
Just worms.
Just different types of worms.
Yeah. Oh, and before our next story, Domprus. Domprus?
Or Dump Russ.
Domprus. Thank you for subscribing. Domprus.
Oh, this one's hard again. Darn, Worms Are Us was so easy.
You can think about it for a sec if you want.
No, I should do it now. Can you guys think of anything?
No.
I'll take prompts.
Domprus.
Domprus.
Is it like an empress?
Dump Russ.
Oh, like a dominatrix empress.
Wasn't quite where I was going. No. Like a
wait.
duke. And
A dompress? No.
The Duke and the Dump Russ.
Sorry. Your word is dompress. Can you please use it in a sentence, please? Dompress is the name of the latest Loading Ready Run live subscriber. That doesn't help. Can you give me the origin of the word? The origin is from the internet, kid. Deal with it. Dompress. DUMPRUSS. Ding, ding, ding. You're going to the next round. Hooray! Yay! Your next word is Garface Magar. This is the worst spelling bee in the universe!
Suda51,
Our good friend Suda51.
our good friend Suda51.
He doesn't know us.
He doesn't know that we're his friends, but
He has given us so much over the years.
yeah. So he's made Killer 7, Killer is Dead, the sort of the considered spiritual successor, sort of. What else has Suda51 made? Shadows of the Damned. No. Shadows of the Eternals?
No, Shadows.
Shadows of the Damned was the Castlevania game.
Yeah, Shadows of the Damned. No, yeah, the one where you're like, we have the big gun.
You have a
And
gun that
everything's
talks to you,
penises.
and it's all penises everywhere.
Hey,
Alex is in the chat.
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Lollipop Chainsaw. There's a bunch of weird games. Anyway,
It's
so
51.
he is directing a game being developed by the developer that made Tokyo Jungle.
That's also
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Based on a short anime by the guy who directed Akira.
It's a tie-in
It's a tie-in with his anime, yeah.
with this, like, it's like he's doing this. It's like a compilation anime.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 different directors each doing.
Yeah, and
shorts,
so this is to go along with one part of it, and
Shadows of the Damned was the Castlevania game, wasn't it? Oh, Lord of Shadows. No, it was Shadows of the Damned.
Yeah, it was
okay.
Shadows of the- yeah.
Yeah, Shadows of the Damned. Anyway, yes.
Basically, I mean, that's one of those ones where it's just like if you look at the trailer for this thing,
Yeah.
it's just
It looks like an insane bullet hell game.
yeah,
Yeah.
but with like some like weird side scroller bits too. I don't know.
Yeah. You play as what's her name?
You play as
Ranko Tsukigime,
yeah.
who is a schoolgirl by day and flying laser assassin by night,
I mean,
Like is pretty common in Japan.
as is common in Japan.
seems
yes.
like a lot better because I'm a schoolgirl by day and an internet comedian by night, and I tell you that's not nearly as glamorous.
Your transformation sequence leaves much to be desired.
My transformation sequence is just putting on pajama pants.
Yeah.
There's no sparkles, just cat
No,
hair that
just-
comes off.
And grunting. Hey, look, a cloned pickle has just subscribed.
A cloned pickle. Thank you for subscribing.
Hey everybody, do you just not have enough pickles in your life? I mean, do you just need to rub them all over your body at all times, sit in a vat of pickles, take pickles to the park, take pickles in your car, go on vacations with pickles? Can you just not get enough of those goddamn salty logs of delight? Well, why not try a cloned pickle? It's like the pickle you just ate, except it's probably not healthy for you because it was cloned from all sorts of various things, worms from Worms R Us mostly, but cloned pickles. You could probably do a lot better, actually. Don't eat them. No.
If it tries
Okay.
to crawl away, that's bad.
It's the pickle you just ate. Again.
It's like the year is 3145. Pickles have become extinct. Now there was only cloned pickles, cloned from the original alpha pickle.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
proto pickle.
R4V5, I am not in school. I graduated a while ago. I was making a joke that I'm a
Kathleen,
schoolgirl.
salty logs of delight, Devere.
Uh,
Salty logs of delight.
right. So the great Ken Kutaragi.
Oh, yes. Ken Kutaragi is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yeah, from the Developers' Choice Awards. It's being presented to him by, so Ken Kutaragi.
Oh, sorry. The father of the PlayStation.
Yeah, he was the lead developer for the PlayStation,
Yeah.
which, as you may know, was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
It's being presented to him by the lead developer of the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, I forget which one. At the award ceremony, which is being hosted by Respawn Entertainment's community manager for some reason.
That's weird. It's a weird choice of host.
Is
Respawn Entertainment's community manager.
it
I
a
think so.
girl or a guy?
I'm trying to.
Maybe
this
they're a
thing won't-
famous gamer in their own
This
right
thing won't
too,
load properly.
No, that's possible.
right? Like it might be like that they're also Respawn's community manager, but they've also done a bunch of other like noteworthy stuff.
Anyway,
My hair.
the main joke, of course, was that I looked at. So when I was looking at that story, I went and looked at like list of, and if you do this now, go look at like the list of top 100 best selling PlayStation games. Of the top 15, 14 of them have had sequels or remakes come out on later consoles.
But they are not themselves sequels or remakes.
Some of them are.
Okay.
Because Final Fantasy VII would be
Yeah.
one.
Right.
But
What's the only one that didn't?
the only one that didn't is the Harry Potter game. The like Deathly Shadows or something, Deathly Hollows.
So it's basically just sort of like
It's basically just like back, it was back in the day when
ideas were new and games were fresh.
when games weren't so expensive that big AAA companies could actually take risks on things, right? You have Metal Gear Solid, for instance, which I guess technically is a sequel, but really wasn't. Anyway.
There is actual liquid in that mug. I have water in that mug. We have a subscriber, specifically
The Real Silverwood 1 has just subscribed. Thank you for subscribing.
If I had more time to prepare, I would pull up the lyrics to like the real Slim Shady song and like do a really bad substitution.
I'm the real Silverwood. The real Silverwood. All you other real Silverwoods. It doesn't work. It doesn't rhyme. Because I'm Slim Shady. Yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. And the imitating has internal rhyme to Slim Shady. And that doesn't work with the real Silverwood. So it's like, I'm the real Silverwood. Or I'm Silverwood. The real Silverwood. All you other Silverwoods are just
Silverwooding.
dumb and stupid.
Hey everybody, do you want to hear some really terrible raps? Why not come to the Loading Ready Run live stream where we will mumble through Eminem lyrics but ham-handedly stuff your username in there instead of the original lyrics to make it somehow even worse than us just reading them dispassionately. Loading Ready Run live streams, you literally cannot do worse than this.
I feel like that wasn't really that was just reading it dispassionately. I feel like. I didn't really feel like the flow was happening there.
Your chair is very low.
Oh, that's true. I'm huge.
Aha! Much better.
You
can squeeze in a little.
we shouldn't have gotten all three chairs with arms.
Yeah,
That was a mistake.
I can't move.
Okay. So it's the guy is who's hosting the ceremony is Abby Hep or Hepe, who is the
That's
Respawn
probably a
Entertainment
girl.
community manager.
With the name Abby.
Could be a girl. I don't know. Who knows?
Maybe she's just real good on camera and the kind of person that they're like, yeah, we can totally get this person to do this.
Yep.
If anybody wants me to host anything, I'm available, and I don't swear nearly as much in real life.
She does.
That's a lie. We were joking in the car about the Final Fantasy Lightning Returns thing, and that was basically the punchline. There is basically just what Beej was saying in response to it, which is like, I'm looking forward to when all future Final Fantasy games are just like can be modified to look like previous Final Fantasy games. Like you'll be playing Final Fantasy 23 and you'll be able to have like
all the characters.
You'll have your party dressed up like, Cloud and like Locke and I don't know, Terra and Waka, and you'll be like, these are all my favorite characters because his hair is rad. Come on.
True. Yeah, Paul, your shirt is translucent, by the way.
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
that doesn't work.
No.
Just on the shoulder a little bit because it's picking up the green from the screen.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, it's a green shirt.
It's kind of
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I forgot I'm wearing a green shirt, but then I'm also wearing a green shirt underneath. So that was just poorly planned.
The dark green seems to be better, actually.
So there's a story here that I marked that I didn't actually even bother telling Graham and Kathleen about because it's probably too complicated to do on the thing.
Oh my god.
So, as we all know, 38 Studios.
We may not all know this. I think you have to fill people in.
So, 38 Studios is the guys who did Kingdoms of Amalur.
We did that on Unskippable, didn't we?
Maybe.
I think we did.
The company started by a very famous baseball player.
Yeah, by Kurt Schilling. So he, not only did the company go kaputski, quite spectacularly, but because Kingdoms of Amalur was actually doing quite well.
It was.
as MMOs go.
Yeah.
But the way they had made it, they needed it to do like ridiculously well, like WoW numbers.
They made some poor business choices
before it would actually be successful, which was stupid. Anyway,
a lot.
so they went Kaputski, but the problem was that they're based in Rhode Island, and the state of Rhode Island had underwritten a whole ton to the tune of like $75 million.
Yeah.
As part of like a jobs development
As part of a
program.
jobs development thing, right?
Yeah.
And so then they're like, yeah, sorry. And not only did they leave, but they like closed down, and like people who had like moved especially to Rhode Island to be working at the studio were not informed about it and not given the severance. Like it was a bad scene. So now the state of Rhode Island's Senate has approved a legislation to make it so that anybody who's going to like settle with the state of Rhode Island, because there's a whole bunch of people who owe the state of Rhode Island money.
Right.
And normally, if you settle with some in a situation like this, if you settle and then it turns out there's like a criminal thing later on, you're still liable for the criminal thing, even though you settle.
Huh.
But they're saying that, or you're liable for more fines if stuff like that. So they're passing legislation that's like official legislation that changes the rules for this one instance because this is so bad.
Because this is employees of.
No, this is.
Or like creditors, like who owes Rhode Island money because of this studio going down?
I don't know everything. Let's see here. Former 38. So it's Kurt Schilling himself and 13 other defendants, including former state employees.
Okay. Oh, so they're basically
apparently like because part
they're
of this,
on the hook for paying back Rhode Island, basically.
Yeah. Well, and part of this whole thing was that apparently is that Kurt Schilling, one of he was a really obviously a great baseball player. Also, was apparently very charismatic and stuff, and got this money when he probably didn't have the wherewithal to actually get it properly.
Yeah.
So there's been all sorts of inquiries as to why he was getting so much money.
As John Locke Cole points out or says, that the game was very well done, and it was actually, as we said, it was successful.
It was doing fairly well.
Just they needed it to be stupidly successful.
Well, yeah, because I've not heard from anybody who actually played the game that it was bad. Everybody who played the game said it was great, and they're really sad that it didn't do better, but they're kind of annoyed that the company sort of overextended itself to the point where the only way it could survive was to do ludicrous amounts of money, right? Like,
yeah, like they were
poor management.
Like they were sinking just like millions and millions of dollars into this thing.
By the way, earlier on, John Locke Cole said that he's been watching our new stuff since the old ENN days.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Somebody
and Silverwood One is I think I saw him say that he was wondering what the merits were of a triple subscription. I don't know if that means he has a triple subscription or if he's considering a third. Because I assume that Silverwood One and the real Silverwood One are the same person. If not, they have to have a fight.
I think perhaps he's collecting subscription things.
The appreciation increases at a higher rate. It's a higher rate than 1-to-1.
No.
To subs. It is.
Really?
And for me, I appreciate it.
I think that people should subscribe as
much as they want.
As much as they want.
Speaking of which.
Once probably is probably best. There's other ways that you can give us money. We sell merch and stuff.
Speaking of which.
We have another subscriber.
Do it up.
Well, you go first.
All right, fine. I was going to switch it up. Hey everybody, Nitro Gnome has just subscribed.
Nitro Gnome, thank you for subscribing.
Nitro Gnome.
Welcome to the Nitro Gnome.
Today at the Nitro Dome, we have Nitro Gnomes in tiny racing. That's right. Take everything you love about big racing and make it tiny and faster. You won't be able to track the action with your eyes, so we're selling you special Nitro Gnome binoculars so you can see the incredible gnomish torment that we are inflicting on these tiny, scared, woodland magical creatures. That's right. They don't want to be in these tiny cars any more than you would. So come out to the Nitro Dome today and see us torture some mythical creatures. Nitro Gnome!
I would go to see that.
Silverwood 1 says, I was cloned when I was young, and after this, we're going to go fight on a church roof.
Nice. That's the only place to have a real clone fight.
Guys, don't make
Yeah.
more than one sub account. Just sub once. It's fine.
Personally, I think what's more valuable to us is long term.
Yeah.
You know, if like as opposed to like if you do 2 subs and then you don't do it and then you unsubscribe. But if you are
Well, if there are people that will make multiple sub accounts and
keep them going.
keep them going, which is fine.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can do that if you want, and we appreciate it. But
you could also like buy merch or come see us at like a con or something like that and buy something from us. Then there's other ways to support us financially. But through Twitch is a good way because it supports us and it supports Twitch, which is a nice service. And you know,
Who I think the chat delay is getting better.
Yeah, it
I think
is.
they're working on it. They're
Well,
trying.
no, I mean, I think it's still not as good as it was, but better than it has been.
Definitely, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Graham, can you give us a Sunday?
Sunday at the Nitro Gnome.
Just a couple other ones here. First, an update. Remember we talked about the Writers Guild of America awards.
Yes.
Oh, who
right,
won?
right.
Can you guess who won?
Oh, wait,
Was it God of War?
No, it was
Okay,
Last
good.
of Us.
All right, good. Of course it was Last of Us.
Because it was the only one that was actually.
Yeah.
It was like Last of Us, and then we need some more things to fill out this, so it doesn't look like we just gave it to Last of Us.
Yeah.
Because seriously. Anyway, so yes, The Last of Us basically cleaned up, which, yeah. So the other one was this. This is actually kind of interesting. It's probably a little technical, why I didn't do it, but AMD has just been rolling out their replacement for DirectX / OpenGL. So like their like replacement for the graphics card API system.
Yeah.
Which is, according to them, has all sorts of advantages that they can have up to like 40% increase in frame rate and all that kind of cool stuff. The problem is that it was supposed to come out at the end of January, and it's not out yet. But the first game that supports it, being Battlefield 4, is out. And so they like released Battlefield 4 update with like support for this new thing, which is called Mantle.
Right.
But Mantle doesn't actually exist yet. Like Mantle isn't actually available yet. And so they're like, oh, that's a shame.
Oh, right. So there was a massive, I forgot about this. There was a massive EVE Online battle that happened. It started like while we were doing CheckPoint last week. And so we couldn't get it into that episode. And it was still going. It went for hours.
Yeah, with that whole time dilation.
So it went long, way longer than that day. And I think at the end of it, once all the dust had settled, it was worth people lost like the real world equivalent
like
of like $300,000.
Yeah, and it's
300,000.
That is now the
300,000.
newest, biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty
They've actually
big.
they've made the devs CkPt, right? CkP?
Yeah.
A number of C's and then a P. The
Two
devs
C's.
okay, have made CkCP is something totally different.
3 CCP, yeah.
Yeah.
3 CCP.
They've made a memorial in the
Nice.
game at that place. Like they've left like the capital ships. They've left like the ruins.
Oh, nice.
Like just all the debris in that sector with like a
75
like a
Titans
beacon?
down,
Yeah.
says Johnny Kefka.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
with like a
insane.
beacon being like, so here's what happened.
Oh my God! Somebody.
Never forget the day that somebody didn't pay their rent on time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody in the chat said, Kathleen, you're so pale. Are you okay? And then King of Doma says she's just pale and dark, like the delicate Bishojo warrior she is. Sunscreen.
Like, it's awesome.
Also winter.
Also, you're just pale.
Yes. So okay, what was this? Somebody didn't pay their rent on time thing.
Okay, so basically what from what I understand, the whole thing started by there's this, as we've talked a little bit about Eve stuff before, but Eve has different, there's different systems and stuff. And there's one system was of strategic importance that was used as a staging ground for battles and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it had been in the had been owned by one faction for a really long time. and then but you have to pay rent on stuff on certain types of things. You have to pay rent to the NPCs basically, and somebody didn't do it.
Yeah.
You know, and so then that means that it reverts to being sort of a neutral.
Yeah.
And so the other, another huge faction, seeing that that's suddenly reverted to neutral, they're like, shit, let's go get it. Send all their stuff in, and everybody else send all their stuff in, and then...
Yeah.
Was it a particularly juicy section that people wanted?
It's probably, I think it was, I believe it was one of those, it was used mainly for, staging attacks to other places.
Yeah.
But it was, it's one of those things where it was more the actual fighting.
JWD 3090 was asking, where are we getting this number from? Is this man hours? What's the number thing? And so the way that, just very sort of briefly, the way that it works, EVE Online in-game has a currency called ISK.
Mm-hmm.
ISK. And
but it also has a premium currency called Plex,
which is it's sort of a premium currency and sort of what you use to subscribe. But the point is, you can buy Plex, and there's a way to convert Plex to ISK. So however expensive something is in the game that is destroyed, you can extrapolate what that's worth in real world money, because there is a direct correlation between real world money and the in-game currency.
Yeah. But it's not like you can't take money out. You can't take money out of EVE though.
No, you can't.
So I mean the comparison to real world money is a little bit shaky.
And the moment says you can sell the Plex to other players for ISK. So there's a way to transfer between Plex and ISK if you need to, but not with money. But if it's a 100 ISK to a Plex, then you can say, all right, so blah.
A Plex is 1 month of game time. You buy them for $15.
Yeah.
But one Plex is about 600 million ISK. So you can sort of figure that out. As you see in the chat there, Master Gunner linked to a write-up he did on the Loading Ready Run forums that sort of goes into a little bit more detail. Yeah. He's a lot more familiar with EVE than we are.
I mean, it's this idea, and it's at the time it was a quite revolutionary thing. This idea that you could pay for your subscription to the game by playing the game.
Yeah.
No matter how much you play WoW, you're still gonna have to pay your $15 a month or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's this is. I mean, this is now the newest, biggest battle ever to have taken place in EVE. I still like the serendipity of the one that was caused by the guy misclicking and warping when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah.
That has so much abuse. That has so much.
The accidental Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. I love that one so much.
Hey, look who has subscribed while we were talking about that. It's the one, the only
Rakdos the Defiler. Rakdos the Defiler, thank you for subscribing.
Do. He's black. He's red. He'll probably chop off your head. He's Rakdos the Defiler. Don't let him near your butt. Oh, what a jerk. Thanks, though.
He's the head of the cult of Rakdos in Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. Gotta say, yeah. I mean, much as I appreciate him subscribing, probably kind of a jerk in real life.
Probably.
So I hope you like that little jingle.
Oh my goodness.
That's it. So that's it for the actual the news that I was looking at, and so it was actually pretty good this week in terms of silly stuff happening. I don't know if that's we're there's kind of a doldrums around the Christmas season, because there's sort of this thing is here, this thing is here, and then right in the new year everyone's kind of hungover, and so things seem to be picking up again in terms of stupid news.
January is a fairly quiet time for most news.
Yeah. So, but those stupid engines are revving back up again. So, yay.
Current exchange rate has the cost of that battle at around, it looks like 230 million Dogecoins.
Dogecoins.
Not a good rate of exchange on Dogecoins right now.
Should have bought into Coinye.
Coinye got killed immediately.
I was actually reading this. This guy was talking about how he basically had some sort of notification system that would let him know just when different when people were just starting up new different cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
And so he would just like, when whatever some random new cryptocurrency comes out, he'll grab it and like mine 50 coins or whatever, because they're always really easy to get right at the beginning, and then forget about it. And then usually like in a week or so, he'll be able to sell off those for like $200 or something, because even if it wasn't a very successful cryptocurrency, it'll still have a little bit of movement to it. It's kind of funny.
So there's a story that some people were talking about in the chat that I didn't actually see, so I went to look it up.
Microsoft's PS3 thing?
Yeah. So the Microsoft Store is offering $100 in credit in exchange for PlayStation 3s or Xbox 360s. So you bring in your previous generation console.
Not Wii?
Not the Wii. PS3 or Xbox 360. Bring it in, and they'll give you $100 store credit. And you don't necessarily need to use it towards an Xbox One.
I suppose you can buy a PS4.
But if you aren't trading in your old consoles towards the Xbox One, you may not receive the full $100. So the fine print is, to receive maximum trade in value, you must purchase an Xbox One at the same time.
All right, so basically you can trade your Xbox for $100 towards a PS3, and then they can probably refurbish and send your Xbox out. So they probably make money on it, right?
$100 towards an Xbox One.
Or, yeah, Xbox One.
But this is interesting.
I guess the PS3 is just going to wood chipper?
This is interesting.
They totally have one set up in the back.
So they will only accept Xbox 360 Slims or Xbox 360 Elites. They will not accept.
That's smart. I mean, the ones previous to that are bad for reselling.
Yeah, but they'll accept any PS3 because any PS3 still resells well.
Yeah.
Burn.
So it's like Microsoft's like, well, we're not accepting those. Those things break all the time.
Exactly.
Those things are pieces of shit.
Right? If I could get $100 for my old 360, I absolutely would, but I can't.
But yeah, that's a good point that Sakana01 says, that neither of the new systems are backwards compatible. Like, I don't really see anybody wanting to chuck their previous generation system just yet.
Not yet.
Not when
There's
there's
still
only,
good games coming out for both of them.
Well, there's also still like 15 games for the newer consoles too, right? Like, they're working on it.
Yeah, but I have all these
360
games, and I would have nowhere to play it if I traded my 360 in.
What is this MTG conspiracy?
Oh, there were some cards that were sort of got out into at like the pre-releases. I'll show you afterwards.
Oh, okay.
This happened over the weekend, so we were out of town.
The Wii U is backwards compatible, though.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, well, you can't trade your Wii in anyhow, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can buy a Wii for like $100.
Zorro, what is Microsoft getting out of this? They are getting out of this
a bunch of Xbox
people buying Xbox Ones so they can make money on the software.
And honestly, they'll be able to, any old Xbox Ones that come in, they can send them back to the factory, they can wipe them, they can refurbish them, they can use them to do
360s.
Or sorry, 360s. What do I keep saying?
Ones.
They're
taking 360s.
One is the new one. 360 is the old one.
I know it's confusing, and that's Microsoft's fault.
And PS1 is the really old one.
Yeah.
No, but they can send those out for repairs. They can sell them refurbished. Like they can make use of that. Also, it props up the.
Maybe they'll sell the refurbished ones for less than $100. I can see a good deal here.
So that is what happened in the world of gaming news this week.
I think that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Graham, what game did you play a lot of this weekend? Like,
oh my God!
I barely saw you this weekend, even though we spent the entire weekend.
Not because of this game. I played probably like
10, 15 hours max.
Combined, probably like 4 hours of this game.
Last night. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, Rogue Legacy. People have been telling me to play it, and I started playing it, and it's awesome. And I'm going to install it when I get home and play more of it on my own account. It's fun. It's a roguelike, which still is grammatically a phrase that sounds wrong to me. But it's sort of Metroidvania style stuff, and it's funny and it's a lot of fun. And yeah, I played a ton of it this weekend, so I look forward to it.
Paul, did you play any games this weekend?
Not too much.
You played Creeper World 3
Played some
earlier.
Creeper World 3. I actually just played some on my own this weekend.
I've never even heard of that game.
Brave New World. Crazy games.
Yeah.
Or somebody was asking the current PlayStation 3 cannot have other OSs installed on it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a thing.
A firmware update or whatever.
Yeah, and that was the reason why PSN got hacked a couple of years ago, because people who are hackers don't like it when you take away functionality on things that they bought.
Yeah. So, I would much rather watch Graham play Rogue Legacy than RE6. Well, maybe I can play some of that some other time.
So
I'm still gonna see. I'm seeing RE6 the whole way through. I have to do this to myself. But I might play some Rogue Legacy some other time.
What aspect of Rogue Legacy makes it a rogue? Like, is it just that it's randomly generated?
Yeah, yeah. And the point is just to try and get as far as you can in the randomly generated world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess to me, like roguelike's always been like the sort of top down. Has been more like the more sort of traditional style.
It's a Metroidvania roguelike.
Yeah.
Which is words that mean nothing to a lot of people.
But making roguelike just mean randomly generated seems a little weird. Like, is Diablo roguelike?
It might be. I don't honestly know.
It's a new word.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway,
it's a lot of fun. You should check it out.
Alrighty.
I did not play that many games this weekend. Actually, that's not true. I played the game of sit in a hot tub a lot.
You're getting really good at that game.
Oh, so I was like max level by the end of that weekend.
Sweet.
The final boss is actually
sitting in the hot tub.
It's really easy.
Yeah. Final boss
Kind of a
is sitting in the
pushover.
hot tub for like 2 hours at a time, which I think I did.
No, the final boss is the freezing cold dash across the icy deck from the hot tub back inside.
Like a slick of ice on it, right? Because it was like below zero.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, actually, I'm pretty warm. This is fine. Getting out of here, and then you put your foot down. You're like, ah!
Ooh,
roguelike doesn't necessarily mean that it's harshly difficult, does it?
No, not necessarily.
Maybe. Anyway, they say Diablo is a roguelike.
I like the
Randomly generated loot collecting, apparently.
I like the
Quick question,
derisive term roguelite.
Wait, quick.
Ooh, snap.
It's like, oh yeah, that game. That's a roguelite.
Burn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Randomly generated burn.
How were the bros this weekend?
Oh,
It was pretty funny.
Honestly, though, they were insane the first night. There was clearly keg stands going on. There was very loud thumping and just whoa, whoa noises.
They were
the
still
walls
awake.
at 4 a.m.
They were still clearly awake and going at 4 a.m. when I finally was able to fall asleep because of the noise, and then they were up again, probably still at 9.
Yeah, puking. we heard, what was it?
This was
Get it together, Jack.
To fill you in if you weren't following #BroWatch on Twitter, a bunch of Loading Ready Run and friends went up to a
The worst Baywatch knockoff ever.
cabin at Mount Washington, which is a ski resort near here, but the skiing wasn't actually happening because they didn't get much snow, and we were in a duplex, and we were in one half, and what we later found out was a bachelor party was in the
Bro
other half.
Team Alpha.
That's
Yeah.
good. I like that it's a bachelor party. It wasn't just what they do every weekend.
They had 5 pickup trucks parked out front of their half of the duplex.
Nice.
None of them did not drive a pickup.
You can't
and
share a pickup truck with somebody
most
else.
of the pickups
That'd be
were
weird.
jacked up, and yeah, I just
So
liked
what you're saying is they may not be used for farm labor.
Yeah, I like when you just hear thump 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 wham, and then someone else go woo, yeah, Ross, and you're like, whoa,
we
Ross?
learned many of their
That's
names.
a party foul. Right
Ross
there.
either stuck the landing or just ate shit on something.
Yeah, it's interesting that the sound that other people make is actually basically the same either way,
Yeah.
whether you failed or whether you succeeded.
Yeah.
There's some life lesson in that.
Yeah, Geinrin, our ski trip was all après, no ski. It was fantastic.
Right. Yes. Après ski.
Yeah,
But
there's devant ski and then après ski, and then you just forget the ski part in the middle.
Yeah.
But we did there was Ross, Jack,
Sul ski,
Cody?
Sul ski,
No, Corey.
Corey,
devant ski.
There was a
ski.
Paul, Ben,
Phil,
Phil.
and Edgar, who we
Edgar.
figured was the bro with the trust fund,
Yeah, that's not a bro name.
right?
It's like, okay, you can come to our bachelor party,
you
but
say
you have to
Jack?
change your name.
Because Jack was the one that
Jack,
was being.
yeah.
Your new name
Okay.
is Eddie.
Yeah, Jack was the one who was puking that woke us up in the morning.
Yeah, I think our bedroom was on the other side of their bathroom or something.
So we heard
like blah, 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 and then like, oh, Jack, that's disgusting. So
like
good job,
high
Jack.
five noise.
I don't know. Anyway,
So that was
Alright.
fun.
that's CheckPoint Plus for this week. We've got about an hour of time between now and when Beach's backlog is on. So we're gonna go offline temporarily and then come back on with Paul and I doing, I guess, GPLP, doing something. I don't know. We can play more Peggle or more Creeper World. We're not
can
gonna.
I play Peggle?
I guess GPLP. I like that.
I guess GPLP.
I didn't get to see Peggle last time because you couldn't watch it on mobile.
All right. Well, we can all play Peggle.
Peggle!
Hooray! I'm
it's
gonna
pretty
shoot
awesome.
pegs.
All right. So we're gonna temporarily go offline, but we'll be right back on in just a few minutes. Thank you guys for watching CheckPoint
Hi
Plus.
everybody! Thank you everybody who subscribed today.
Oh, goodbye.